Mr. Rashbaum, you may continue with your examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Judge, at this time, I would like to move in Defendant's Exhibit 58, which are selected text messages on July 18th that we discussed earlier.
Very well. Any objection from the state other than what's already been made?
No, Your Honor.
Admitted over objection, you may proceed with publishing.
I don't need to publish, Judge. Thank you, though, Your Honor. Do you remember what you did when you left Dolce Vita?
Yes, I do.
And what did you do?
I got in the car and I called my mom up on the phone.
Where was your mom when you called her?
I think she was at the city park.
Now, throughout this call, you don't mention Katie's name. Why don't you mention her name?
I think I was just always just being careful. But, I mean, there was no big deal. My mom knew that I was going to go meet Katie, and I just spoke in general terms.
You tell your mom that everything is fine. What are you telling your mom when you tell her that?
I'm letting her know that it's the police, because that's how I left it when I left my meeting with my mom before I went crazy and I heard all about Luis Rivera. I'm letting my mom know, like, everything's fine, it's the police.
At the end of this call, there's discussion about cheerleading and Passover. What is your level of concern when you have this call with your mom?
I believe that there is no danger to my family at this time. We're very minimal.
Now, do you recall that the call got cut off? Well, let me say it differently. Withdraw the question, Your Honor. Do you recall that your mom, on the end of this call, had to call you back?
Yes.
And do you recall that about 5 minutes later, she did call you back?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Judge, at this point in time, I'd like to play State Exhibit G.
You may proceed.
And this is a call between you and your mom at 5:06 on April 20th. I don't hear anything.
Test your equipment again.
I didn't do it. Let's try it again.
Yeah. Hi, honey. Sorry about that. I had to just schedule.
Nothing in the headphones now.
I think it's clear on the speakers, but I guess play it once again. Hold your thumbs up if you can hear it clearly over the speaker.
Yeah. Hi, honey. Sorry about that. I had to just schedule it for Monday because she was leaving.
Yeah.
So,
How about on the speakers? I know you can't hear it on the headphones.
You just want it to be a little bit louder on the speaker, you're saying? I'm not Bill Nye the Science Guy. I'm not sure why we can't get this to work from call to call, but
No, let's see if everyone can hear it without the headphones.
can you turn up the speaker?
It's at max capacity.
Oh,
Which is
okay.
which is lower than my voice, as we all know.
Except for when you're excited.
Exactly.
Good. I just so I hung out with my friend, and then she's gonna sleep on some stuff, and then she's gonna come tomorrow to either my office or Thanos' office and tell me how it
No,
works.
that'll-
How she thought about it. So I'm still. So I'll talk to her tomorrow. I wish her the best of luck.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So you think she'll be okay? You think everything will be good for her?
I told her. I mean, I was explaining it to you, with relationships, they either go one of two ways. Like it's,
Right.
So it's going to be one of two ways. So,
Yeah. Well,
But that's-
hopefully it's how you want it.
yeah.
How it would be best for her. Yes, honey, you can. All right, Charlie. I love you, doll.
What are they? Yeah, you're welcome. So
Yeah, just I'm hoping Dad has a good day at the office.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I like him to have a good night's sleep. So
Yeah.
he works on a long day, Wednesdays a long day.
I truly would not worry about anything.
Wait a second, Lincoln, honey, this little girl is on. Come here, honey. Wait till she finishes, and then you'll go on. You don't think so?
Yeah, no, without a doubt, I wouldn't.
Okay, I hope so.
There's nothing to worry about.
No.
No.
So you'll be up at the office. You'll be at our office all day tomorrow.
From 11 to probably by 3, I'm going to be gone.
Oh, really? I'm done for the day.
Well, then I go to Thanos' office.
Oh, the Santa. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
I hate this area of like Ives Dairy and 95.
Very crowded.
Oh my God, the traffic. So, to go from like, I mean, literally, for me to go from like, on Biscayne to like, all the way to like 95, it's the same amount of time it takes me to go from my house to South Beach.
Wow.
Just the east-west. It's quicker for me to go to South Beach from Fort Lauderdale than to be in Miami and go to the highway. I mean, it's 2 lanes, like 2 schools and everything. So, all right,
That's the they're swinging, and I'm pushing as high as I can, and that's the squeak of the swings.
all right.
So I'm pushing them. The old grandma. Oh my gosh. All right, I love you.
Yeah, you probably feel, but I would worry about absolutely nothing.
Really?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I would not.
Well, if your theory is correct, then that'll be, we don't know that.
Well, listen, I mean, it you have to realize something. It does them no good.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's nothing. They're not going to gain anything. They're still going to be in the same situation. It's not like you've ever threatened anybody or hurt anybody. So
no, I know that.
And listen, the thing is that they're not hiding who they are.
Right, not at all.
Not at all. So.
When you call your mom back, there's a reference to Harvey. Harvey's your dad, right?
Yes.
There's a reference to hoping, your mom says she hopes Harvey had a good day at the office. She'd like him to have a good night's sleep. What did you understand this to be a reference to?
Oh, my dad's about to find out what had happened to me 2 years earlier and what's happening to my mom now.
You're telling your mom repeatedly in this call that not to worry about anything. Why are you telling her not to worry about anything?
Because my mom was worried that a gang member was going to come and hurt her, or somebody was trying to extort her for money.
Now, you then say, not like you ever threatened anyone or hurt anyone, and you say, she says to you, well, if your theory is correct, what was your theory? Well, first of all, when did you go over your theories with each other?
When I saw my mom 2 hours before this call was placed.
And what was your theory and what was her theory?
My theory was that it's the police. My mom's theory was that it's a bad guy and they're going to hurt one, and then somebody else in the family is going to pay the money. And that this was a serious threat and her life's in danger.
You then start talking about, again, how there were no threats, no disguise. Why are you telling this to your mom?
I'm telling my mom that this is so different. It can't be the same person. It can't be the same people that are behind my extortion that are behind her extortion.
Moving on to State Exhibit H. Now, State Exhibit H is a call that's in evidence between Sigfredo Garcia and Katie Magbanawa. Do you recall listening to that call?
Yes, I do.
Now, you obviously weren't on the call initially, right?
I was never on that call.
On the call, you can hear them fighting, and Sigfredo is refusing to make the phone call, right?
Yes.
Again, what had you discussed with Katie at Dolce Vita? What were you hoping that she would do?
That she would at least make the phone call, even though we were pretty sure it was the police. I mean, there's still a chance that you're wrong, and this is a copycat who doesn't realize that I was extorted, and they're running their own extortion off of it and chasing down my mom.
The next day is now April 21st. And the state put in State's Exhibit J. And this is a 22-minute call between you and Catherine Magbanawa. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
Was this the first time that you spoke with Katie after your meeting at Dolce Vita?
Yes, it is.
On this call, are you asking to meet with her?
Yes, I want to see her.
And how is she responding to meeting with you?
She's blowing me off. I'm trying to have her come to my office. I'm trying to have her come to the second office I'm at. She can't find it in her time to come meet me.
And when she seems that way, are you offering to pay for some things for her, like helping her get a hotel room and the keys?
Yeah, and that was actually even before the bump. She had asked me for something, and I said, sure, I'll do it for you. And it was a $300 hotel room. But that was before the bump. But yes.
Now, during this call, Katie starts talking about investments in properties. Do you remember that?
I do.
When she starts talking about the investments in the properties, at first, do you have any idea what she's talking about?
I have no clue what she's talking about.
So in this trial, there's been a lot of talk about code. And the government has a nice little cheat sheet as to what they believe the various code words were. Did you and Katie ever discuss any code words?
There was never any code discussed.
But it's fair to say that when you're speaking on the phone with Katie and when you're speaking on the phone with your mom, you're talking very carefully.
Extremely carefully.
And for different reasons, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about why you're talking carefully with Katie. What was the reason why you continued to talk very carefully on the phone with Katie?
I didn't want Katie to think that I was setting her up.
Now, when you say you didn't want her to think that you were setting her up, at this point in time, you didn't think she was part of any murder or any extortion, right?
Correct.
So how would you be setting her up?
Well, she's tied to the people who murdered Dan Markel, and I'm tied to her. So if I went to the police, I would be calling her up and trying to get them caught, and I'd be talking in a much more blunt way.
And what are you afraid of if she thinks that you're setting her up? There's probably a couple things you're afraid of, but what are some of those things that you're afraid of?
The number one thing is I'd get killed because they think I'm a loose end.
Okay, what's the number two thing?
Number two thing is I'd get zero help. She would help me with nothing.
And help in finding out what?
Who's behind the second extortion of my mom?
Now, ultimately, during this call, you figure out what she's talking about with properties, right?
As she goes, I'm catching on to some of her lingo.
She says to you, I was talking to someone, do you think that would be a good investment? He was like, no, that is a really stupid, you should really use your head. What did you understand her to be saying? Who is the he?
Well, by this time she was back with her ex-husband, and I assumed that person to be Sigfredo Garcia.
Did you assume her to be saying to you, he doesn't want to make the phone call at this point?
No.
Now, she says, but he is going to look into a couple things, a couple of properties, and find out what's going on, and then I'll go from there because you can't just jump into a place you don't even know. What did you understand her to be telling you here?
She was saying that she's going to look into it. You just can't pay extortion. You don't even know who the person is.
She then says later in the call that she thinks that the property was posted incorrectly. She also says that she thinks it's a false lead.
Mm-hmm.
What did you understand her to be saying to you at that point in time?
She's trying to tell me that this is the police. This is not real extortion, and that's pretty much what she was saying. Exactly what she was saying the day before.
She says it's one of two scenarios. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. What did you understand her to be saying were the two scenarios?
Well, the first one is the police, where she's like, you can't pay the police. And the second one would have been a copycat extorter, but not being possibly Luis Rivera or Sigfredo Garcia.
In response, you say, the thing is, that property came with full listing, everything but pictures. What are you saying here?
I'm saying that this extortion came with so much information. And that was the thing with the first extortion on July 18th, is that I had no information. Even when I guessed, the person wouldn't say, she just said, no, I'm not going to tell you.
And so the fact that it came with everything but the pictures, what did that make you feel it was?
That it was more than likely law enforcement. I mean, they were giving you phone numbers, they were giving you names, they weren't trying to hide who they were. It had to be, it more than likely was law enforcement, but it's still a small chance it could have been a copycat extorter.
15 minutes and 45 seconds in this call. She says, I did some research. I will find out more. I don't want anyone to take advantage of you. How was she acting?
Like she was protecting me. And she was trying to help.
And incidentally, what did you think she was doing for you for the past 20 months since the extortion that occurred on July 18th?
I thought she was protecting me.
You then start talking with her about other types of real estate. Was this real estate at this point?
There was some real talk about real estate because she was working in a real estate company.
And you tell her that you'll lend her money for her real estate career?
Yeah, she once asked me if she ever found a good place, would I lend the money and go in partnership with her. And I always said if you found the right deal, I would. But we never spoke any specifics beyond that.
And you talked to her about helping her out with her car?
Yeah.
Why were you offering to help Catherine Magbanua out with her real estate career and her car, and saying that at this point in time?
I didn't think that she was benefiting from the extortion of me at all. She always told me she never took any money. Her credit cards were getting declined at Old Navy. She's borrowing money. I thought that she got dragged into this in the same way I got dragged into this.
Now, the next call that's in evidence is K. And this is April 21 at, I believe, 11 o'clock a.m. One moment, Your Honor.
Take your time.
This is a call between you and your mom, correct?
Yes.
And this is the first call since the call that we just heard where your mom is swinging the boys at the park, right?
Right.
Now, there's a discussion on this call about meeting with your dad. Why were you going to meet with your dad?
Well, I knew the night of the 20th, my mom was going to tell my dad what had happened to me and what's happening to her now. And I knew my dad was going to want to talk to me and find out what's going on. So I told my mom, listen, I'll talk to Dad when he wants to talk to me tomorrow. Just have him meet me.
50 seconds into this call, which again, I don't think we need to play it, is K. You say, I saw a lot of police everywhere giving traffic tickets, so be careful. Anyway, that's who I think it is for multiple reasons. Multiple reasons. What are you telling your mom here?
I'm telling my mom, be careful where you talk about this. I don't want the police to know that I know anything or that I was extorted. They're going to come talk to you. So please be careful and be careful where you talk.
And when your mom responds, again on the earlier call, well, that's good if your theory is correct. What do you understand your mom to be hoping for?
My mom was hoping it was the police.
Now, after this call, you have a call with your dad, and where do you all decide to meet for dinner?
I was originally going to just have my dad come by my house, but I was working late, and I told my dad I'll meet him at like a halfway point between my place and his place, and I met him for sushi down in Miami.
And let's talk about Matsuri.
Okay.
Did you go to the restaurant straight from work?
Yes, I did.
Who got there first?
I think my dad was there before me.
When you got there, could you all get a table right away?
No, it was not at night, but the place was packed.
Where did you go when you couldn't get a table?
We waited for about 15 minutes and told the person seating people that we'll just take a seat at the bar. Take 2 seats at the bar if you can.
Before you got seats at the bar, did you go anywhere to talk with your dad?
Yeah, we put our name down and we were just sitting outside the restaurant on a bench.
Did you notice anyone around you?
No.
As a result, were you able to talk freely?
Yeah.
Without going into the whole discussion again, what did you discuss generally with your dad?
I told him what had happened to me, and I told him that I thought it was the police that were doing this to Mom, and that this is just so different.
Now, was it clear to you when you met with your dad in the outside of the restaurant that your mom had told him everything by that point in time?
She told him everything.
Was it clear that he knew that this was related to Catherine Magbanua?
Yes.
Now, at this point in time, I want to emphasize this point in time, did your mom or your dad know anything about Tato being in prison, confirmation that Sigfredo Garcia was the extorter? Did they know anything about that?
Well, the undercover had told my mom that Tato was incarcerated, but aside from that, everything that I had found out at lunch the day before, or meeting with Katie after I saw my mom, I hadn't spoken to my mom about it, so she knew none of that.
Now, was your dad upset with you?
He wanted to know why didn't I come to him, and I said, Dad, I thought if I went to you, I didn't think I'd be able to stop you from going to the police. I don't think you would have realized the danger that I was in, and the family you would be putting the family in. So I didn't want to tell anybody. The only reason I told Mom was because when I ended up picking up the checks from her, when she found out.
He now knows, though, right? He knows as of the evening of April 20th when your mom tells him, but he knows as of Matsuri.
Yes.
Does he say to you, Charlie, I got to go to the police?
No, I think my mom scared him pretty good.
And when you spoke to him, was he behind you in not going to the police?
Yeah, I mean, he understood why I didn't go. I mean, he understood how serious it was. This was not a small threat.
Did you tell him outside the restaurant before you go in to eat that you were pretty sure it was the police?
Yeah, and I went through all the reasons that we've spoken about, that it was, I was fairly certain it was the police.
Now, you end up getting seated at the restaurant, and where do they seat you?
They seat us at the sushi bar. So.
Now, Matsuri, it's a pretty authentic Japanese sushi restaurant, right?
Yeah, it's in a strip shopping center, but you go in there and like half the people are Japanese. It's very authentic.
At first, did you notice anyone sitting next to your dad?
No, we just sat at the bar. It was just the two of us.
Later, did you notice someone?
Yes, a gentleman comes over and sits down next to my dad.
Now, before we get into some of the details, did anything initially strike you as very weird about this person who was sitting next to your dad? What was the first thing that struck you as being kind of off?
He was very rude.
How was he rude?
Well, I mean, we're sitting there. We got our dinner plates at the sushi bar. They serve you your food, and so your dinner plate's there, and your drinks are there. And he comes over, and he plops this big bag down right next to my dad's dinner plate. And it's like, you don't put your belongings on the dinner table. And it just struck me. I looked at the guy. He put his belongings down and his keys, and it's like sitting next to my dad's plate. I'd never seen that done like that before.
And that was off to you, right?
Yeah, I just thought the guy was rude. He was off, yeah.
I want to take you back to before you saw the guy. You've seen the recording. Was there some discussion between you and your dad before the recording that the jury has?
Yes.
Okay. But the recording starts with you almost mid-sentence saying, I can even tell you he's at Giants Stadium. Do you remember that?
I do.
What are you talking about there?
I'm saying that we're talking about it being the police, and I'm saying the police are just following a lead that's not true.
Now, are you actually using the word police?
No.
You then say it's not done. By the way, what's the reference to Giant Stadium?
Supposedly some guy, Jimmy Hoffa, who got killed years ago, was buried in the end zone of Giant Stadium. So the police went and dug up the end zone, thinking that he was there because somebody said it, so they investigated it, but it was never true.
Now, you then say it's not done like that. What were you telling your dad was not done like that?
The extortion wasn't done like it was done to me. It's being done to my mom. That's not how it's done.
And you do this twice, but at 50 seconds into the recording, you say, and the funny thing is, and you whisper something in your dad's ear.
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't know the exact words, but what did you whisper into your dad's ear?
I was saying they don't realize I was extorted the first time, and this is the same thing that's getting done. Then the second time I say this is like, the funny thing is, this is like deja vu.
We're going to get to that.
Okay, sorry.
Then there is talk about why they didn't go to Wendy. And why did you think they didn't go to Wendy?
I think they didn't go to Wendy because the police already spoke to her.
And Harvey asks you if Katie agrees with you. Agrees with you about what?
That it's the police.
Throughout the video, you're seen repeatedly looking at the guy next to your dad.
Yes.
Why are you looking at him the second time? What piques your attention next?
Well, the waitress came over, and the first thing he said to her is, "What kind of salads do you have here?" And she even just looked at him. I mean, it's like, it's a sushi bar. You come here to eat sushi, and it's not a place where you come in and you're like, "What kind of salads you have here?" And then when I looked at him, he looked at me, and then he ordered his salad, and he ordered a California roll. So I was like, this guy really doesn't like sushi, and he's coming into a sushi restaurant at 9 o'clock at night by himself. He seems really odd.
Now, you then say again at some point, and the funny thing is, and it's unintelligible after. Do you think you know what you said at that point?
I said, this is like deja vu.
You're then eating, and you say to your dad, I think there's a recorder in the bag. And your dad asks whether they can do that, and you say they can with a warrant. Why did you think there was a recorder in the bag, and who did you think was sitting next to your dad?
I mean, the way the guy ordered his food, I mean, he clearly doesn't like sushi, and he's sitting in a sushi restaurant, and then he's sitting there with this bag on a table next to our dinner plate. He's either the rudest guy ever, or could be a police officer, or I could be just completely wrong, and he is just a rude guy.
And so what happens after, as Ms. Kappelman says, he was made? What happens after you realize that he is a police officer, or someone, you have suspicions that he's a police officer?
Yeah, we no longer talk about the extortion.
Why don't you talk about it? What would be the problem with the police knowing about the extortion, the first extortion?
It's the same reason I didn't go to the police the night of July 18th, is that I was worried about my life, my family's life, and I bounced back and forth between should I go, should I not go, and every time I went through the pros and cons, I mean, it wasn't going to bring Dan back. The people who did this don't care about killing someone in the middle of the day. I mean, there's not a question, especially sitting here and seeing Luis Rivera come in and I know who Sigfredo Garcia is. I don't think these guys would have cared. I think they would have killed me.
Now, after dinner, you leave the restaurant and you go in the parking lot, right?
Yes.
And you thought you were gonna just go to your cars. Your dad walks you to your car first, and what happens?
We're just talking, and he's asking me a few more questions, and then he asked me about who's Tato. Like, what's the story with him? Did Katie know who Tato is?
And at that point in time, for the first time, did you tell your dad what you had learned in the car with Katie the day before?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm not holding anything back from my parents, and I told my dad that, yeah, Dad, Tato's a real person, and he's the head of the Latin Kings of Miami, and he's the one who killed Dan.
When you tell your dad that, how does he react?
He's like, look, you think it's the police, why not, maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong, let's just go to the police now. Don't you think that's the safest thing to do? And I said, absolutely not. I mean, these people are connected. They know other people out there. I didn't go to the police originally. I don't want to do that. And he's like, well, I said, I think it's the police, so there's nobody's going to get hurt. And he's like, well, what if you're wrong?
And did this discussion go back and forth for a while?
Yeah, because I mean, what do you say when someone says, what if you're wrong? I mean, you're going to get killed.
What did you tell him you would continue to do?
I said, listen, I'm going to talk to Katie. Hopefully she'll come by and see me tomorrow, or I'll talk to her and see if she's reached out to these people and to see if it is legitimate extortion or if it's just the police.
Did you again go over with your dad all the reasons why you were sure it wasn't the police?
That it was the police.
I'm sorry, that it was the police.
Yeah, at that point I did. I rehashed everything again and went through everything that we discussed.
And at the end of leaving the restaurant, what did your dad agree to?
He agreed not to go to the police.
The next day, you speak with your mom, correct? This is April 22nd.
Yes, I do.
This is defense exhibit. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm a little confused. Hold on a second. This call is not in evidence. On this call, just to refresh your memory so that we don't have to play it, well, let me first offer it into evidence. Judge, it's labeled Defense Exhibit 100. It's a call between Donna Adelson and Charlie Adelson on April 22nd. It's State Call 1695. We would move it into evidence.
Any objection from the state?
Hearsay, Your Honor.
Members of the jury, the bailiff is going to escort you to the jury room. I'm going to listen to the call. If you can play the call, please.
Would you like me to play the full call or just the part that I plan on publishing?
Well, how long is the call itself?
Let me check. call is 15 minutes long, 15 minutes and 11 seconds long.
All right. Well, I believe the context of the call is really going to matter here, but how long is the portion that you plan to publish?
I plan on starting at around 5 minutes and 50 seconds in and going till I think I could stop it at around 7:30.
All right. Go ahead and just start it from the beginning.
From the beginning of the call, 15.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I started it.
Well, I guess it's a good thing when you're not hearing voices, but I do actually need to hear the voices to get through this issue.
I really hate computers.
Only on the phone. We'll just say hello to him. Charlie, hold on a second, okay?
Can you rewind at the beginning, Ms. Dugan?
Hey, sweetheart, how are you?
Good. What's going on?
Hello, Charlie.
Hey, Dad.
How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Not too much. I got the boys finishing up a computer show. You finished? Good. Shut it off, Lincoln. Go brush your teeth, and I got to get Ben. Ben, go brush your teeth now. Ben, go brush your teeth. All right? I got Uncle Charlie on the phone. You want to just say hello to him? Charlie, hold on a second, okay?
Okay. Hey, sweetheart, how are you?
Good. What's going on?
Oh, you know. You know.
Any
No.
more drama?
No, I had busy day. I got up early and cooking a lot of stuff to the Seder for tomorrow. And then no, Ben, go to Grandpa and get your teeth brushed. What? It's Hot Wheels? Really? Okay, Lincoln, go get your teeth brushed, baby. And then we went to the courthouse. It was very nice. We met Wendy Judge.
Oh, nice.
She is like your next door neighbor.
Really?
She had said that all along because I remember the other judge she worked for. Whoa.
Really?
Impossible. Very difficult woman. This guy is like,
Like fun?
Yeah, just like your neighbor, just sitting, friendly, talking, kidding about how, because one of the guys there, this black guy named Charlie, is with the girl now, and he's pretty serious. So he's saying, yeah, we've all been trying to tell him, secret to a happy marriage. He says, I'm married, I don't know, 30 years or something, this judge. He says, secret to a happy marriage is yes, dear, it all works. He says, actually, what really works is you're right. Yes, dear. So he said, it's worked for me. He said, I'm happy. I've got 2 great daughters. My life is good. He says, so I'm trying to tell Charlie, practice every day. Yes, dear, you're right. He said, you'll do great. So, but he was like funny and casual, and it was Casual Friday, so he's just wearing like a pair of pants and a collared, like a colored shirt. Casual shirt, t-shirt type thing, and so friendly. Just what Wendy said, a genuinely nice guy. You wouldn't think he's an appellate judge. You just wouldn't believe it. So super nice guy, and I'm happy for her because she's a nice person for her to work with. And the other 4 people, that we met, also so nice.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, this guy Trinity. I think Trinity is Wendy's age. I thought she told me he used to be a cop, and then he went to law school, and now he's doing this. Beautiful job, Ben. And he, and he's the one that's married and has 2 kids. And it's such a difference because for whatever reason, Ben didn't want the ice cream cake. So he went back and said, Wendy's office, we're all sitting and having cake. And after about 15 minutes, this guy Trinity gets up, and we thought he was in the bathroom. So, anyway, yes, he did, honey. He just did. He has an extra brush in there. So there's some things that I was hoping. No, I'm going to ask him. He said, what time tomorrow? I'm hoping I'm going to have a little time with you tomorrow just to talk about some of the cases that we need to go over. So, okay. All your stuff. Okay, sweetheart. Okay, I'll get you one. So I would like, if that's possible, maybe. What do you think?
Well, I'm waking up early in the morning. I'm driving up to West Palm Beach.
I knew you said that. I couldn't remember what you were doing up there.
I'm going racing.
Maybe you're doing something. Dad said, "What's he doing?" I said, "You know what? I don't remember." He told me he was doing something.
Yeah, no, I'm going racing. I got all the guys going up there.
Yeah. How many of you are going?
I think just 4 of us.
Yeah. Is Scotty one of them?
Scott Jones, Scott Radius or Scott Jones?
Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on a second. What, Lincoln?
I know when the rescue bus first got their color.
Oh, yeah?
When they scanned their vehicle, they went into the vehicle and then they transformed and they got their color.
Oh, okay. Tell Grandpa to get a book and go into bed with you, and I will be right there. Okay. I forgot about that. Okay. You can have, no, not this one, honey. Let me do this with you tomorrow, please, Ben. So you're going up there early. So what is that, like about 3-4 hours of racing or less?
Yeah, but I mean, you're looking at an hour. It's an hour and 15 minutes there. It's an hour and 15 minutes back here, and I'll probably be there for 2.5 hours.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to get to your place by 5:30.
Okay. If it doesn't work, maybe maybe I'll stay a little bit later. Because dinner, it's not going to be a ladies' night,
No. I can always talk to you after. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Can I just ask you one thing?
Sure.
Has there been any more drama?
No.
Zero. Yeah. Did Dad tell you what I spoke to him about?
Yeah. And I have a couple of questions. That's what I want to have a chance to see you tomorrow.
Yeah, but it makes
go over those cases.
Makes perfect sense, though, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. But I still have some questions and things that I think need to be addressed. But we'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I mean, listen, there's no rush. I don't start work till Monday.
Okay, sounds good.
It's not like asking you tomorrow, but
yeah.
I've thought everything through again and again and again, and I think I'm 100% right.
Yeah. Oh, I would hope so. That would be, yeah.
Or 99% right, because none of it makes any sense.
No.
None of it makes any sense. I mean, there's no. It's not. I'm just telling you, it's not done like that. It's not. I know for a fact. It's not. It's not done like that at all. And they're approaching somebody who has nothing to do with anything, which is even sillier.
Yeah.
So listen, my feeling is that you go to. I'll tell you what my feeling is. But it's utter nonsense. Like that's the best way I can describe it. It's utter nonsense, and I wouldn't pay it any attention. No attention at all. It's not done like that. It's flat out. It's not done like that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I can say it on the phone without saying it, but it's not done in such a nice manner.
No,
it's not. It's not done like that. It's done like that if you want someone to talk to you. If it's otherwise, it would just be. It wouldn't be done like that.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing. Listen. Listen,
let's go
I'll
over
talk to you
it.
later.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's really what I thought. I think it's
Yeah.
nonsense.
Yeah.
Leave it at that.
Okay. All right, sweetie. So, you going out tonight?
Nah, probably not, because I want to get up and
Oh,
do
because
racing
staying
in
up
the morning.
early. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then do all that.
Okay. Well, you're going to have fun tomorrow. That sounds great.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm buying the cart.
What cart?
I'm buying the go-kart tomorrow.
Oh, I thought you were racing cars.
Kart racing.
Oh, I thought CARS. Oh.
No, you can't rent cars to race. They'll never let you rent a car.
So, a cart. So what is everybody doing that? They buy carts?
Well, I'm buying my go-kart.
And so what is everybody else
Bob,
doing?
is at the end
They're
of
renting
the
it, yeah.
portion you wish to publish.
But I'm going pro.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen, I've always wanted a go-kart.
With regard to the hearsay objection, the part that really struck my ear was your client saying it's not done this way. What is his qualification to essentially make this opinion if this is not hearsay?
His qualification is he's been extorted before, and he knows it's not done this way.
Assuming there are many ways to skin a cat, beyond the one way in which he's alleging to have been extorted, what is his foundation to make this opinion?
He's making an opinion based on his past, and it goes to his state of mind. So even though it's hearsay, it's an exception to the hearsay rule, which is his state of mind.
State any further argument. All right. I am going to sustain the objection. Your client may testify as to any matters he can recall, but specifically not getting into the substance of this call itself.
Fair enough, Your Honor.
Let's bring back in the jurors.
May I approach the podium now?
You may. Everyone can be seated. The objection as to hearsay is sustained. You may continue.
The Matsuri dinner was on April 21, 2016, correct?
Yes.
The next day, you have a call with your mother. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
During that call with your mother, do you recall asking her whether Dad had told her everything that you told him the night before?
Yeah.
Overruled, you can answer the question. Does not get into the substance of. You may continue.
Yes, I asked her, had my dad told her everything that I talked with him at dinner about.
And on that call, what again do you tell your mom, even with what you had told your dad the night before?
Objection, hearsay.
Well, I'm going to allow him to answer the question as long as it's not going to get into an out-of-court statement. You may answer the question.
That it's not done this way, I know for a fact. And I'm 99% sure it is what I thought it was.
What was the basis for you telling your mom that?
I wanted to calm her down and tell her that I'm more sure that it's the police. The basis was the guy that sat next to us at the restaurant who went to the sushi restaurant and wanted to eat a California roll and was real rude.
Okay. Now I want to go to April 23rd. Okay. April 23rd. Judge, may we go sidebar very briefly?
Approach.
On April 23rd, do you find out later in the day that a letter has been sent to your parents' home?
The letter was
That your parents received a letter on April 23rd.
it was on a Monday. Was that the 23rd?
Can we show What exhibit is the letter? Do you have the letter?
I believe this is already entered into evidence.
It is. Do you have the letter? 79. We'll look at it after, I can't find it. Will you take my word that the letter was received by your parents on April 23rd?
Sure.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah, I think it was Monday the 25th.
Ah, you're right. Don't take my word. The letter was received on April 25th.
That I will agree with.
Okay. Now, on April 23rd, did you find out that Catherine Magbanawa and Sigfredo Garcia were in a big fight?
Yeah, I did, actually.
And did you learn that Catherine Magbanawa had left him?
Yeah, I believe when I called her on the phone, she said she took her shit and left.
Now, on the 23rd, when you find that out, were you upset?
Yeah.
Why were you upset?
Well, at this point in time, Katie had been protecting me in the first extortion. With Katie being with Sigfredo Garcia, that was the best chance I had to try to stop the second extortion or to find out who's behind it. And then it also made me think that the timing of their explosive breakup and the timing of the guy extorting my mom and the fact that I had just found out on Wednesday, the 20th, that Sigfredo was behind what happened to me was very suspicious. So it opened the door in my head to thinking, like, what if Katie's, what if she's breaking up with him because she found out that he's behind the extortion of my mom and she doesn't want to tell me? So my mind was going there.
And then 2 days later, the letter arrives at your parents' apartment, right?
Yes, on that Monday.
Okay, so let's talk about that Monday, April 25th. Where were you working that day?
I was actually working in the office in South Beach, just a couple blocks away.
And after work, where did you go?
I went over to my parents' house to stop off.
What happened when you got to your parents' house?
My parents were really shaken up because they got a very threatening letter mailed to them saying that you don't take me serious and Tato is fucked and soon you will be fucked too. And it was mailed to their apartment. So now they're saying, who's ever doing this, they know where we live, not just the building. They know the apartment number. Like this, they were scared.
Did your parents think that the letter was more threatening or less threatening than the original communication on the street?
Way more threatening.
And what did you do after you found out about the letter?
After I found out about the letter, I called Katie because I'm thinking, like, this has to be Sigfredo. Like, they're fighting, and he was behind what happened to me. Not that this has to be, but, like, it was real suspicious, and I wanted to see what her feelings were. And she was avoiding me. I tried to see Katie on Thursday. I tried to have her come to my office, to either one of the offices I was working at. She wouldn't come. Tried to have her come on Friday. She wouldn't come. I wanted to see if she wanted to see me Saturday. She was avoiding me. And then it just all was lining up it was making me question a lot.
Now, the state put in M. Is that a call that you had with Katie about meeting with her, and this is after the letter arrives?
Yeah, I wanted her to come down to meet me.
Did she agree to meet with you on the evening of the 25th?
Yeah, she drove down to where I was at.
Where did you meet with her?
I met her at my parents' building. I was downstairs.
Did you meet her around the same place that you had met with your mom after the bump?
Yeah.
What did you do when you met? Did you stay in one spot or did you go someplace?
No, we just went for a walk along the sidewalk, along the water, and we walked probably a good 30, 40 minutes maybe.
What did you discuss on your walk?
I confronted her and asked her, do you think that this is Sigfredo that's doing this to my mom? And she again said, no, absolutely not. I'm like, but come on, can you tell me? Because you guys are fighting, and I know he was behind. Now, what happened to me is this what you guys are fighting about? Do you not want to tell me? And she was adamant that it wasn't him. And then I said, well, what about Tato? What about Luis Rivera? And she said, it doesn't seem like something he would do. This is not how he would do it. She said, but he is incarcerated, and Sigfredo did bring him on. He is the one who killed Dan. Is maybe one of his people is trying to do an extortion off of something that he thinks was a murder for hire, because whoever it is writing this thinks it was a murder for hire, which it wasn't. So I opened up that possibility, and she said, well, probably not, but she said, it could be, it's probably the police. She still was like, it's the police, but it could be a copycat.
What did she tell you that she would do?
She was going to call the number, and I was like, you haven't called yet. And she said no, she hadn't. So I'm like, can you please call the number and see if you know these people and see if you can get it to stop?
After you did how long were you with her this evening on this walk where you're having this discussion?
I mean, it was probably 30 minutes there and 30 minutes back, and we sat for like 10 minutes. So, I mean, it was over an hour for sure, hour and a half.
When she left, did you stay in South Beach?
Yeah, and I tried to get her to call the number by telling her, like, my parents are going to go to the police. Like, they are going to go if you don't give them some peace of mind and find out that, confirm for me.
By the way, this is April 25th. Is that the last time that you saw Catherine Magbanawa in person?
Yes.
Now, after you meet with her that night, do you meet with your parents again?
Yeah, I went over. My parents were actually at my sister's apartment, which was a few blocks away. So when I got done there, I sat for a little while, and then I went over to my sister's apartment.
When you went to your sister's apartment, was she there?
No, she wasn't.
And who did you meet with?
My mom came downstairs. My dad stayed up in the apartment because the kids were sleeping.
Why did you meet with your mom alone outside of the apartment? What was your mom and dad afraid of?
I think that what they didn't want was Wendy coming home and then starting to question what's going on.
What did you tell your mom when you met with her?
I told her that I talked to Katie, and she does not think that it's Sigfredo, and she still thinks it's the police, and that she's going to look into it on the chance that it's a copycat, and it's a second layer of extortion.
Now, April 26th, the government put in Exhibit O, which is a call between Sigfredo Garcia and Catherine Magbanawa, and they put in a text message, which is P and Q, which are text messages between them. You recall that?
Yes.
And I know you weren't privy to this in real time, but those calls and text messages show that the two of them are fighting still, right?
Yeah.
And as a result of that, strike that, Your Honor. During those calls, what is Catherine Magbanua trying to get Sigfredo Garcia to do?
She wants him to call the number.
Now, the next morning, and this is R, 10:30 a.m., you have a call with your mom. Do you recall that?
Yeah, what date is that?
April 26th now.
Okay.
And you talk about whether she feels better about the things you told her last night. What were the things you told her last night?
I told her that it's the police, and that you're not going to be harmed, you're not in any danger. And my mom was hung up on the fact that the person was ratcheting up their threats, making deliveries to their apartment, telling them that they're going to be fucked if they don't pay up.
And there's some discussion about the letter being written like a girl. Do you remember that?
The beginning part of it was like a girl. The second part sounded real tough.
And so what did you mean about the beginning part of it being written like a girl?
If this guy's saying that he's a Latin king, I can't imagine a Latin king writing "you don't care" as a phrase. It doesn't sound right. Doesn't mean it's not a copycat, but it doesn't sound like that's who it is who she thinks it is.
At the end of this call, and this is R again, around 2 minutes in, you say, one, they weren't the same person, without a doubt. Listen, I know. I actually do know how these things are done, and that was the same thing that I said. It is not done like this. Your mom says, yeah, that is what you explained. And you say, no, it is 48 hours. You recall that?
Exactly, yes.
When you say they aren't the same person, what are you saying?
I'm saying it's not the same people that extorted me that are extorting you. It's clearly not the same as the first extortion.
And when you say it's 48 hours, what are you referring to?
I'm referring to what happened to me on July 18th when I was told you got 48 hours or we're going to kill you.
We then go to State's Exhibit S, which is later that same day. And you learn that your dad didn't go to work that day.
Yeah.
Why were you upset about that?
Because I knew how this extortion was affecting them. I mean, my dad's probably missed 2 sick days in the last 20 years, and he's afraid he's going to get killed in the parking lot of him walking into his office because he's getting extorted by some Latin King gang member at this point, and he's afraid to go to work. So even though they're telling me they're okay, I know when my dad's not going to work, there's something seriously wrong.
And your mom asks you whether you ever checked the phone number I gave you last night. Again, what is she referring to?
She's saying, did you follow up on this? Is this person really a dangerous person?
Your mom then starts talking about fixing bridges. And you say, Mom, just stop with the fucking nonsense because I really don't want to come down there anymore. What are you frustrated with her about?
I'm frustrated. My mom's trying to talk carefully, and I understand that. But I'm letting her know, like, this is the police. Like, I do not think you're in any danger. This is not the same as the extortion that I dealt with. They're not approaching you the same way I was approached. There's so many things that are different. Like, I keep telling them, like, this is the police. You're not in any danger. And she's fixated. And I understand, so they're older, and someone's sending a letter to the house saying you're going to be fucked if you don't pay up. They're scared.
You say 7 minutes and 18 seconds into the call. It's not like, oh, we'll get one of them and the other one will start paying. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. What are you referring to?
That's what my mom's theory was, is that they're going to get her and they're going to hurt her, and then someone else, and then they'll go to someone else in the family, and then they'll start paying them.
You then say, first of all, they don't give you a number. I mean, everything is so traceable. They also weren't disguised. Again, you say 10 seconds later, this is not how it's done. What are you reiterating over and over and over to your mom?
Is that these people aren't hiding who they are. And for 2 years, I was not given a name. I wasn't given phone numbers. These people have traceable devices. They're not hiding. It's not done like this. This is different. And then they kept saying, well, what if you're wrong? And that's what kept me looking into it.
Then we go to T. And by the way, T, just to be clear, S was a call with your mom, and that call is at 4:00 p.m. It lasts 15 minutes long. And then T is at 4:33 p.m. of the same day. And this was the first call you had with Katie after you met with her, right?
Yeah.
Again, Katie is talking about a client and property, right?
Yes, she is.
And she asks you for a number. Did you have the number on you?
No.
How were you going to get the number?
I figured I'd just call my mom up and see if she had the phone number. I'd get it for Katie.
And on you, you try to get the number from your mom, right?
Yes, I called her.
And did your mom have the number?
No, she said that she had given it to me.
Everyone okay? Technology. Okay. Let's move on to W. Actually, we'll skip W. Now we go to the next day. The next day, you have a call with Catherine. This is X. You have a call with Catherine Magbanoa at 10:42 in the morning. And to kind of spur your memory so that we don't have to play it again, this is the Drake call.
Oh.
Do you recall that call?
I recall it.
Okay. And during this call, there's some discussion about helping her out with a vacation. What was that about?
She had asked me, and it's on the wires before the bump. She wanted to go down to the Keys, and there's a place that I would stay at that I have a connection to, and I could get a room really inexpensive. So she had reached out to me if whether or not I could call up and get that connection for her. And I said, you know what, I'm going to pay for it for you. So I said, wherever you go, I'm going to take care of it.
Judge, can we briefly go sidebar again?
Very briefly.
Very
Please approach.
Now, one of the calls that's in evidence but was not played yesterday is Y, and that's a call to your mom your mom calls you at 12:25 p.m. On the 27th. There's some discussion about Miami Heat tickets. Do you recall that call?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Rather than play the whole call, let me just ask you some questions to see if you remember it.
Sure.
Do you recall offering your parents Miami Heat tickets?
Yeah,
Playoffs.
I knew somebody who wanted to sell their tickets, so I wanted to see if they wanted to go.
And they did not want to go, right?
Yeah, they didn't want to go.
And why didn't they want to go?
They were still really upset about being extorted and the letter that came to the house on Monday. This was the day after my dad took the day off of work and didn't go to work.
And again, what do you repeatedly tell your parents on this call?
I tell them that it's not done like this, that this is basically I tell them it's not the same people, and that you have nothing to worry about.
Do you talk to them about the location they live and the timing of when the bump occurred?
Yeah, this is that call.
And what do you recall telling them about the location where they live and the timing of the bump?
What I was saying is that they live in a very small, safe area. For somebody to do that in the middle of the day, it makes me think that it's even more the police, because it would be so easy for them to get caught doing something that it's almost like these people don't care about getting caught.
Okay, so let's briefly recap before we go on. The letter comes on the 25th, right?
Yes.
And no one makes any payment.
No.
The bump had happened on the 19th and a week before, and no one made any payment, right?
No.
What's the next escalation point on April 28th? What happens next? What do the police do next?
The guy that came up to my mom on the street and wrote the letter to the house is now looking for her at work and calling her place of work and calling the office, looking for her.
So, and this is, I believe, State Exhibit 107, okay? Now, you're not on this call, right?
No, I think the guy called Erica.
Okay. And what happens after this call?
Is this the one where the undercover calls Erica?
Undercover calls Erica, and does someone call you after the undercover calls Erica?
Yeah, he said to Erica that I gave Mrs. Adelson some important papers last week, and she knows what this is about. She needs to call me. So then Erica called my mom and told her about this person that called the office, and my mom was scared because now they're tracking her down at work. And she called me up and she was really shaken.
Now, during this period of time, what had Catherine Magbanoa been telling you about her calling the number?
She said she called the number, and she called another number, and nobody picked up.
So your mom calls you, and that's Z, correct? That's Z, on April 28th at 9:42 a.m. And why did you tell your mom during that call that it's odd that the guy called the office? What was odd about it?
It was odd that he called the office because Katie had been telling me she's been calling the number. So it's odd that the guy's not picking up, but yet he's making phone calls.
After that call, there are a series of calls where you try to reach Catherine Magbanoa, right?
Yes.
Why are you trying to reach her?
Because I just heard that the guy's calling the office, and she said she'd called and the guy wasn't picking up, or she may have told me it was a non-working number. And I was driving into the office at the time, and I had limited time to try to handle this before I got into the office and became really busy.
Call AA, they played, the state played for the jury. That's a voicemail where you say, hey, it's me, it's important, call me, bye. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Now, BB is on April 28th at 10:43 in the morning, and she calls you back, correct?
Yes, she called me back.
What does Katie, if you remember, and I can play it for you if you need it, what does Katie first tell you about the phone number when you call her back, when she calls you back?
She says it's a non-working number, and that it's a Gmail number, and it's been called 100 times.
What do you understand her to be saying when she says it's a non-working number?
that, like when you call a number, it rings and then you hear like a long beep and then no one's able to pick it up and it's not an active line.
Later in this call, BB, she then tells you that she's been calling the number and it just rings. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
When she tells you that, how do you feel?
I know she's lying to me because it's either going to be non-working or it's ringing. It can't be both. And the guy's calling the office. So.
And at that point in time, I think Miss Kappelman termed it as things got stressful. You started to get upset with her, right?
Yeah, I know she's lying to me.
And as you're finding out that she's lying to you, what do you start to think?
I start to think that this could be Sigfredo, and that's why she's kind of covering and not wanting to come meet me when I keep asking her to come meet me. I think she found out that it's him, and she's just BSing me.
Now, at some point after the argument in the middle of the call, you soften and you say, if someone's messing with you, they're messing with me. Why do you do that?
Because at that point, I wanted her to know that like I'm on your side. I'm not trying to set you up. I'm not turning anybody in. Like I know you're innocent. I had nothing to do with this. I know you had nothing to do with it. But I need your help, and that's why I'm calling her is for help.
At the end of the call, what does she tell you she'll do? What does she tell you to do?
At the end of the call, she says you call for that number. I'm like, fine, I'll call me. I don't know any of these people. I don't think anyone's going to be afraid of me. But at this point, I don't care. I said, you know what? Let me just call the number, and when I get to the office and I have a break, I'm going to call them.
Now, does she tell you like she did with Sigfredo on a later call? Does she tell you, make sure you don't call from your cell phone?
No.
Does she tell you like she did with Sigfredo on a later call, make sure you call from a landline?
No.
And you call from your cell phone, correct?
I did, yes.
Now, before you call from your cell phone, you do *67. Why did you do *67?
In the event that it's a bad guy, I thought it would prevent him from having my cell phone number.
By the way, in DD, when you're going back and forth, because there's some calls between you and her trying to get the number and seeing if the caller ID, if there's caller ID at the dental practice, she says to you, you want me to call from my fucking phone, and you say, I can care less where you call from. And she says, exactly. Why do you not care where either of you are calling from?
Because if it's the police, it's fine. I'm worried about if it's not the police.
And why do you think that it doesn't matter where she calls from?
Because I don't think she's involved in the extortion of me or the murder of Dan Markel.
At 1:51, a minute and 51 seconds into DD, and again, DD is that same morning, April 28th, you say to her, they can listen to whatever conversations they want. You're talking about calling on your phone. Quote, they can listen to whatever conversations they want. Why do you not care about anyone hearing what you're talking about?
Because we weren't involved in a murder. You know, we're trying to figure out who's behind the second extortion and if my family's in any danger. If it's the police, let them listen in. That's fine.
Now I want to play FF, and that's the call to the undercover.
Okay.
Got it.
Hello?
Hola, diga. Hello, diga.
Hi, who is this?
Who's this?
Someone's been calling my family. I'm trying to figure out who this is.
In reference to what, man?
Someone by the name of Sammy called.
Yeah, that's me, man.
All right, what's going on?
Well, what's going on is my brother Tato. Okay, my brother Tato has not been taken care of. His family's not been taken care of. I talked to a dentist. Why are you calling me? Who are you? I gave the number to a lady.
I don't know Tato.
You don't know Tato? I'm
No.
sure you know Katie and Tuto. They've been taken care of since the family problem been taken care of up north.
I don't know who you are.
You don't? Well, this isn't going away, my friend. Because let me tell you something. I was at Broward with Tato, and he told me the whole story. He told me nobody was taking care of him. Nobody was taking care of his family. The family was taking care of Katie and Tuto, and nothing's been taken care of with Tato. So we know what's going on. And Tato needs to be taken care of. Do the right thing. The lady already has the paperwork. She knows what I'm talking about. We know Katie. We know Tuto. We know they've been taken care of.
All right, let me look into things.
No more fucking around, man. No more fucking around. If this ain't going away, you guys need to do the right thing for Tato. That's my brother, man. That's my brother, and he needs to be taken care of. His family needs to be taken care of, just like Katie and Tuto have been taken care of.
I've never met these people, but let me call you back, okay?
That's bullshit, man. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know this lady. I don't know your relationship with this lady, but we know what the fuck is going on. This ain't going away. Take care of Tato just like you take care of Katie and Tuto, man.
Now, in hours and hours of The Wire, this is probably the quietest you've ever been. Why?
I was looking to get information from him. I wasn't looking to give him any information about me or anything. And he was pretty scary, too. I was talking to him on the phone.
Now, when he starts speaking and he says things like, in reference to, and do the right thing, what did that make you believe?
He sounded educated. He didn't sound like a Latin King gang member.
And after this call, going to GG, you have an 11-minute call with Kate, correct?
I do, yeah.
Now, you're not very good with names, are you?
I'm horrible with names.
So on that 11-minute call, not only do you again get the names Tuto and Tato confused, but now you start calling this undercover, whose name is Sammy, Simon, right?
Yeah, I changed his name by accident.
Did you do it on purpose to hide anything?
No, I'm just bad with names.
Now, you say to Katie that you told him you don't even know who these people are and you don't know what he's talking about. Why is it important for you to tell Katie that?
Well, because I don't want Katie to think that I'm trying to set her up or set her friends up, and I'm keeping quiet. But at the same time, I'm going to her for help, and I'm letting her know, like, the guy picked up the phone as soon as I called him.
there's some conversation on this call about her working at the office. Did Katie ever work at your office?
No, never.
So when she brings up on this call working at your office, why do you kind of just say, yeah, you're a great worker at the office, or whatever you say? Why do you not say, Katie, I don't know what you're talking about. You've never worked at the office.
Yeah, if I would have talked bluntly and said you don't work at the office and what the checks were for and that she was cashing them, she would have known I was setting her up or setting her friends up.
You say things on the call like, I might have the wrong Katie. It might be another Katie. Why do you tell her that?
Because when I called her back, she got like really quiet, like almost like she sounded like she wasn't trusting me, and almost like she was suspecting me of trying to set her and her friends up, and that's why I really pushed to say like, hey, I'm not setting you up, and talk to her like that.
What was all that you cared about at this point in time?
I just wanted the extortion to stop.
And when you say you just wanted the extortion to stop, who were you worried about? What were you worried about?
Well, I was worried that, my parents were really upset. I was worried that my parents were going to go to the police and cash the second extortion, and then go to the police and end up having to tell them about what happened to me in the first place. And then I was going to have to worry about the original extortion coming after me. And at this point, I know that it involves the head of the Latin Kings and Sigfredo Garcia. And I wasn't going to talk to the police.
You talked to her about the guy coming up with details. What details did he come up with on this call?
He knew about payment.
You specifically tell her that he mentioned her name, or a Katie. Why do you tell her that?
Because I'm letting her know this involves you. Like, I need your help, but this guy has details that are wrong, but he has details.
And on this call and some others, what do you tell her about your parents?
I tell her that my parents are close to going to the police to try to get her to help me.
Now, does Katie have any idea at this point in time, any idea whatsoever, that your mom had known for 21 months about the original extortion?
No. That's what I've been lying to Katie about, and telling her that my parents have no idea what happened to me, and I just tell them it's a long story and I can't talk about it.
Okay. Exhibit II is already in evidence. On that call, it's a call between Katie and Sigfredo. Katie is filling Sigfredo in, correct?
Yeah, I remember that one.
And on that call, 1 minute and 47 seconds into the call, she says to Sigfredo, and like they're very, very close to reporting it already. What is she talking about?
She's letting him know what I've been telling her is that my parents are going to go to the police if you can't get these friends of yours to either stop and contact them.
I want to take a couple seconds and dissect this statement. You understand that the state's theory is that Katie, Sigfredo, and Luis Rivera conspired not only with you, but also with your sister and your parents to kill Professor Markel. You understand that, right?
That's their theory.
And you understand that here, Katie is telling Sigfredo, I'm worried that they're going to go to the police. She's not telling it to you, she's telling it to Sigfredo Garcia. Is that what's happening here?
That's exactly what's happening.
Now, the state, you've heard it in this trial, says Katie tried to silo people, right? Nonetheless, Katie is telling Sigfredo that the very people that, according to the state, are co-conspirators for her are going to go to the police and report what? Does it make any sense?
No, not at all.
I'm going to go to JJ now. And that's the same day at 1:46. About 15 minutes later, Sigfredo Garcia calls Katie back. And during this call, he says he's going to get rid of his phone. And Katie tells him not to call from his phone or from the office. Because he says, what does he say he's going to do?
I think he's going to call the person who's extorting my family.
Now, before this point in time, Katie has told you that he and she, or at least she, has called the number how many times?
She said it's been called 100 times. She said it's non-working, it's a Gmail number.
Moving to later in the day, LL. This is a call between you and Katie. The call begins with her again saying that she called the number. Did you find out later through discovery that she never called the number?
Yeah, many years later I found out.
She then says that Sigfredo Garcia left a message. Did you find out in discovery that no message was ever left?
Yeah, they were lying. I found out years later.
Now, during this call, by the way, did you know they were lying at the time?
No, I thought she was telling me the truth.
During this call, you say, I don't want anyone to go to jail because you know what? People get mad when they go to jail and they feel like they have somebody to get back at. Do you recall saying that?
Yes, I do.
Why did you tell her that?
I wanted to let her know that I'm not going to the police and I'm not turning anybody in.
On a later call, do you recall saying what you thought the police could do to protect you?
I think I thought the police couldn't protect me.
Do you recall saying to Katie, I'll give you a secret?
Can I inquire what call we're referencing?
I'll move on, Your Honor. We'll do it tomorrow.
You've got a few more minutes. You might as well make use of it while you got it.
I got other stuff to do today.
Go ahead.
There's discussions on some of these calls about meeting Katie. Did you ever meet her?
No, the last time I saw her was that Monday, April 25th.
Now we get to 00, and that's the same day in the evening, and it's a call with your mom. And to refresh your memory on the call so that I don't have to play the whole thing, the call starts with you saying, "I'd rather not talk on the phone," and then you talk on the phone for 41 minutes. Do you recall that?
I do.
You say to your mom not to worry, that you're 99% sure of it. What are you sure of?
I'm sure it's the police.
Why are you so sure of it at this point in time?
Because I'd spoken to the undercover, and when I spoke to him, I realized this is obviously not Sigfredo Garcia. And the way the guy spoke on the phone, and again, how different he was than how a real Latin king would be. He's not who he says he is. And at that point, I feel very strongly it's the police at that point.
And again, you describe why you don't think it's a real extortion, right?
Yeah.
For the same reasons that we've gone over and over today, correct?
Yes.
Your mom says that they're barking up the wrong tree. Why? What did you understand her to mean when she said they're barking up the wrong tree?
Well, they think it's a murder for hire. They don't realize that it was an extortion on our end.
And your mom says 24 minutes and 20 seconds into the call, "I just hope they don't go and bother Wendy." And you respond that Wendy was scared from day one. She is just getting over this. What is Wendy just getting over?
The murder of her ex-husband.
But according to the state, Wendy Adelson is a co-conspirator with you in her ex-husband's murder.
The state's wrong. Wrong about a lot of things.
And in fact, you then go on to explain again that Wendy is just getting over the tragedy. This is the second time that you have described Professor Markel's murder as a tragedy, right? On the wires.
Yeah.
The first time was nearly a week before the bump.
It was.
"33 minutes and 40 seconds into the call." And this was not played for the jury yesterday. You say they got theories out there. Someone thinks that our family paid for this to be done. What are you saying here?
I'm saying it's the police, and their theory is they think it was a murder for hire, and that's why they're investigating it the way they're doing it, and they're pretending to be gang members who are coming back for more money.
Going back to Dolce Vita.
Mm-hmm.
You're aware Dolce Vita is, according to the state, the final straw that led to your arrest, right?
Yeah.
Going back to Dolce Vita, did you say something very similar to this in Dolce Vita?
Yeah.
What did you say in Dolce Vita?
I said that they only know part of the story where they think they know part of the story. And
what do they think?
they think it was a murder for hire. And that's,
What was it?
It was an extortion.
Going to the next day. PP, which is in evidence but was not published to the jury. I want to play a portion of it.
I've had a couple boyfriends,
Yeah.
but something else.
It's somebody not from the first layer, but probably the second layer.
You say it's somebody not from the first layer, but probably the second layer.
Yeah.
What are you saying here?
I'm saying I think it's a copycat extorter off of the first extorters. So the second is copying the first.
And who did you think that copycat was?
I thought the copycat could have been somebody from Luis Rivera, somebody that he may have known or known what he did, and now they're trying to do an extortion of their own, be a copycat.
And if it isn't a copycat, who still did you think it was most likely at this point in time?
I thought it was most likely the police if it wasn't a copycat.
By the way, 22 minutes into that call, PP, there's reference to a jet ski incident. Do you recall that?
Yes.
What jet ski incident are you talking about?
When I went to pick Katie up to go jet skiing July 1st, and Sigfredo cut in front of me and slammed on his brakes and got out of the car and started threatening me in the street. And then started leaving threatening messages on my dad's phone that night.
Judge, I'm about to move on to the next day. Would you like me to do that?
If you can stop it within 5 minutes, your next line of questioning.
I think it goes a little longer than that.
Very well. Members of the jury, we're going to take our break for the evening at this point.